All right, think about it too much.
Why don't you try one?
Okay. Hi, welcome to our first episode of Sibling Screenings. I'm Michael,
I'm Colleen.
and we're going to review Ben-Hur.
Wow, that's great. I'm really excited about Ben-Hur. I'm going to tell you what, this is the first episode of our podcast, so bear with us, but we've decided, you know what, people need to know what we think about this.
Yes.
We are not experts in any
Nope.
way. We did not go to film school. We don't have great opinions in general, but you know what? You want to hear them. So
No, you might have thought that maybe we at least put our full attention into watching these movies, but I can't say that for sure either.
that's not a guarantee.
Nope.
I will not promise that.
No. It's a long movie.
Especially for this this movie is 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, too
and
long.
it feels like it's there are some films you watch, you're like, wow, I didn't even you feel every minute.
It's fair to say that this movie has a regular movie's worth of content. But it
Somewhere
is,
in there.
or less.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so today we're discussing Ben-Hur from 1959. So I guess we have to excuse the blackface and the very blonde Charlton Heston being cast as a Jewish prince.
I didn't mind that.
You didn't mind that. You do not care about racial sensitivity. You heard it here first, folks. He does not care.
Well,
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Pick your battles.
Brief synopsis of the film. This is from IMDb. When a Jewish prince is betrayed and sent into slavery by a Roman quote-unquote friend, because there is a lot of dynamic chemistry there, he regains his freedom and comes back for revenge.
You know, I think that's a bad synopsis.
Tell me. Lay it out.
What I knew about this movie before I saw it is a fact that your husband told us about this movie. I did not know this. Apparently, according to him, 80 people died during the filming of the movie. He did have to backtrack a little bit when he thought about it. He realized that actually it wasn't actually 80, but it was one
person who died.
But
actually
0 people.
Zero people died. So this is based on an urban legend. I do not know where he thought that 80 people had died. But so there's a scene in the film where you can clearly see a person go under a chariot. At the time, audiences freaked out and they're like, "Oh my gosh, somebody just died." And then there's this rumor that like the family wanted to keep it in because like, "Oh wow, he died." But apparently that was just a really convincing dummy. And they had, because it was so violent and they thought a lot of people would get hurt, they had medics on the scene, and a bunch of people got hurt because they got bad sunburns.
Anyway, so I think that's a bad synopsis because that's basically all I knew about the movie. That was the chariot movie, so I didn't expect it to be so Jesus-y. If any of you listening out there have never seen this movie or don't know much about this movie, just know that it starts with the birth of Christ, and then it ends with the death of Christ.
I already forgot that because this movie was so long.
So that's just that. It's that kind of movie, which is fine.
It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
Jesus is also like really Caucasian, but it's cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's a different time. Yeah, I do actually think, and I think most people would agree that the chariot race was the best part.
So good. So good.
Because
I have a fact about that guy who got dragged under. That's really the guy wearing like armored plates. They tried it with a dummy and it did not look good.
I had a different fact.
What's your fact?
I heard that it was actually a dummy.
Well, screw. Shoot.
Shoot.
Oh no.
I do know that there's the scene where Charlton Heston like goes over, like he falls, and that's his stunt double, and that was an accident, but the director liked it so much he kept it.
Note to the audience: any fact cannot be guaranteed to be true.
Well, in the coming episodes, we will have a researcher on hand,
Hopefully,
but
yeah.
not this time.
Hopefully, yeah.
So this is your first time seeing the film, Michael?
Yes.
Yes.
I liked it. I thought it was really good. Again, way too long. There is a really, really strong element to the movie, which is the relationship between Charlton Heston as Judah Ben-Hur and Masala, who is his Roman friend. Friend. Every scene with him I thought was so awesomely intense.
I mean, really, really intense. So obviously we've danced around it, but allegedly the original screenplayer, you know what I meant,
Screenwriter, yep.
They wanted, so, and if you watch the movie, it doesn't really make sense that Masala hates Ben-Hur so much unless you watch it through the context that he's a spurned lover. And it's like, oh, okay. Because the chemistry between them is dynamite.
It's so good.
It's so
Every
good.
one of their scenes, so much emotion.
Okay.
So good.
So I have seen this film once before when I was trying to write a review of it. And I actually wrote a fairly positive review. It was, so beautiful, and the sets and the costuming, the pageantry, and you watch the movie and you see why other movies are the way they are. This is why it's on the AFI Top 100, right? It is. And then I watched it again, and I'm like, nah, don't care for it.
Really?
So,
but you would agree that their relationship is really engaging.
So if I could watch that hour-and-a-half movie, I still don't know if I'd like it that much. That was a twist. But because Charlton Heston is in this movie a lot. He's 80% of the acting. And he's just so hammy. He is have you seen Wrath of Khan?
No.
But you probably know Khan!
Sure.
That is all of it. That is 100% of his acting. It is just so, or take your hands off me, you damn dirty ape. He is 100% all the time. Just, I can't handle it.
Pause for anything. I'm going to change levels slow down.
Okay. It's hard not to look at you when I'm talking.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Do we want to clap again?
You sure? 1, 2, 3, sync. Did you say 1, 2, 3, clap?
I did. I did a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so the only thing you knew about the film going in was the chariot race.
That there were chariot races, yeah.
Right. And I have to say, the movie has not aged well because of the awkward pacing, the awkward it takes so long to do things. But the actual action sequence of the chariot race, I think, is
so good. It's helped that there's no CG, I think. Because everything felt so real. Those are all real horses. All those collisions are real.
Totally.
I felt the whole scene was super intense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, except in older movies when they do something like car chases, I feel like those take forever, which may come up in future films. But I'm like, if this was the movie, I'm on board.
Yeah.
But there's this whole other. All right, so now I have to discuss my favorite scene in where, just getting back to how Charlton Heston is terrible, where they won't give the slaves any water for some reason that I don't remember, and he says, God, help me. And then it's what about the Son of God? And then, of course, some carpenter of some sort comes out to give him water, and it's just so, really did not.
I didn't mind it. I kind of like corny and hammy.
I don't hate it. Maybe I do. I don't hate corny. For this, it just did not jive with me. I just didn't care for it.
Maybe I had the opposite reaction to this movie because there were some lines that I thought could have been said very mundanely, could have been very normal. For instance, Charlton Heston is a slave. He's been a slave for 3 years, and this scene is the first introduction to that. And he's rowing on the ship, and this Roman captain walks to the front of the ship, turns to all the slaves, and he says, you are all condemned men. You live to serve the ship, so row and live. And I thought, that's such a cool way to say that line. You could have just said, hey, you're slaves, keep doing it, keep being slaves.
I feel like there are more than 2 ways to do that line. But I agree with you that scene was great. That I actually did my complaint is Charlton Heston specific. Because I thought everyone else in that movie was really good.
Totally.
Nobody else disappointed me the way he did.
No, I don't think he's even that attractive. Facially,
right. Because, neck down, mother may I. But neck up, no thank you. Why do you say that?
Oh, I think he looks like a combination between a normal, classically handsome man and Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
just not good looking.
That is such a perfect description of that guy. Willem Dafoe, born in Appleton, Wisconsin. That's a little fun fact.
And we're in Wisconsin.
We are from the heartland because we're just regular folks talking about movies.
Totally. We're not elitist.
Right. Not cool coasties. Speaking of cool coasties, I wonder what our brother John is up to.
Looks like it's time for Bro
Call! So, we are siblings. just talking about films. But there is another Flaherty sibling out there. Oh, by the way, our last name is Flaherty. I don't think we mentioned that.
No.
Not important.
Could have been called Flaherty Films.
Damn it! That's so much better. Although then it just sounds like they're films about us.
I don't mind that either.
Right. That would be great. We would be so great.
Well, maybe second episode we'll have...
Too late.
Maybe.
Too late. So our bro, John, is the coolest.
He's the best.
He's a coastie now. And we just want to know what's up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give our bro a call.
Let's hear from the voice of the elites.
Yeah.
Hi, Mickey.
John!
How's it going?
You're not Mickey.
Well, some of us are.
Yeah, one of us is Mickey, one of us is Colleen. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
You're on with Sibling Screenings.
Well, before that, are you busy? Are you in the middle of something?
No, I'm very not busy.
Okay. Me and Colleen had this idea. So, she was doing her AFI Top 100 movie blog.
All right.
All right, calm down. Well, I convinced her that she should do a YouTube or a podcast so that people would actually, listen to it. Or, because people don't read blogs, right? You're following the logic.
We also don't expect anyone to listen to this, but it's fine.
Right, it's fine. Anyway, so we thought we would do, me and Colleen are now doing a podcast, and we're currently talking about Ben-Hur. We're actually recording this right now.
Yeah, you are being recorded.
So,
all right.
So I just want to know if you had any thoughts about Ben-Hur, if you ever seen it.
By the way, your segment's called Bro Call.
It's about Bro Call. We already introduced it.
Well, of course I've seen Ben-Hur. That's obvious.
Okay.
You have? It's so long.
God, yes.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Sort of heathen?
What?
Sorry, what's the question?
So, you like it? You like the film?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it a good deal. I think it was a bit too long. There was certainly some editing that could be done, but I get why it's epic and why people enjoy it so much.
You know it won an Oscar for editing? How crazy is that? Sorry.
Oh, well, I guess I kind of walked into that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was a bold editing choice to show the horses walk all the way around the track before the race.
You're like, oh, I wonder if I can, make this 5 minutes longer just watching people walk slowly around something. That'd be really cool.
Okay, so I hear we're actually agreeing about this. Fair enough.
Well, so Mikey and I are split. Mikey liked the film. I did not like the film.
Specifically because I thought the relationship between Ben-Hur and Masala was so cool. I thought every scene with them was so, emotional and awesome and intense.
And I thought Charlton Heston made the movie totally unwatchable because he's so hammy.
Which I love.
Oh, I love Ben-Hur. I love Charlton Heston in that. But you got to remember it was a different age.
Yeah, the blackface told us that. That was helpful.
Fair enough. I mean, we expected a little bit different from actors at that point. Honestly, I think
Marlon Brando was one of the most famous actors this time.
Fantastic.
He was originally cast.
Oh,
It's Ben-Hur.
that would have been so much better.
But he just was too old at the time.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know either. All right, but so how about as a historian watching this film?
Well, I mean, as a historian, none of the parts, it didn't really try to make a very big judgment about history. The naval scene, this is the movie with the naval scene, right? Where
Actually, they brought in an expert to make that Roman boat, and it was too top-heavy, so they had to, tie it down. It's a whole thing.
I feel like the movie was anti-Roman. Roman's bad.
Yeah.
Is that fair, John?
Well, the point I was making was, so while the galley slave's life, that was actually quite accurate, I don't recall the movie actually defining what battle that was, which I felt was all right. They never actually tried to say, what specific historical event, or this is this point in history. It's around Jesus, but even Jesus is slightly poorly defined.
Yeah. We thought Jesus was a little shoehorned in that.
Very accurate representation. I think a decent representation of Roman life without having to get too history about it.
Except that Judah Ben-Hur was, the Jewish prince was super blonde.
Okay, well, I was talking about the way of life,
yeah.
not necessarily the representation of people. Well, then again, we don't actually have a very good idea of what people look like back in,
Okay,
that time.
the Sheik was played by a Welshman who was wearing blackface. That was real. That happened.
Well, that's pretty racist. There's that.
But what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Well, thanks for this bro call, John. We've had a great time talking with you.
Okay. Talk to you guys later. Then.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Now we come to our ratings. Now, the ratings are completely subjective to our opinion and will have no consistency from film to film. Now, first rating is, do you think so before we get into ratings, do you think that this should have been on the AFI Top 100?
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have the context, I think, for what an audience member, a moviegoer in 1959 would have expected, would have appreciated. Certainly, this was beyond, I imagine, beyond anything that had come before it, in terms of sets, in terms of budget.
This film saved MGM, by the way. Like, they put all their money into this. That chariot scene alone cost like $1 million, which I assume is equivalent to like $1 trillion today.
MGM, maker of the James Bond movies. So
yes.
there would be no James Bond if it weren't for
that is so
Ben-Hur.
I can't think of a world like that. That makes me too sad. So we should just briefly touch on the criteria is award-winning, critically acclaimed, and cultural relevance. And so I guess when I watch it, I'm like, oh, I get epic films now. Like, I see it. So I get it. But so the AFI has done the top 100 in 97, and then they did one in 2007, the list we're doing. Nope, 2008 and 1998. Sorry about that. So they may do another one next year.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I wouldn't be sad to see it go. That's how I feel.
I have one more actually note about this movie. I don't 100% know if I think epic is a good word for it, because I thought the climax, I mean, it's definitely big scale movie, big budget, but the climax of this movie is the chariot scene. And I didn't feel like there were a lot of stakes in that scene. If I thought Ben-Hur was planning on killing Masala during that scene because he was so full of hate.
I thought he was.
It was implied very early on, and then it was not reinforced enough to me to ever say that was the case. If the movie was made today, you would have shots of like Ben-Hur's face while he's like doing stuff with his cart to like actually like, yeah, I'm tripping you up because I want you to die.
We would know what would happen if they made a Ben-Hur today because they did.
There's that. But I'm saying I just didn't feel like Ben-Hur. I just feel like he wanted to win a race. That's the way the scene was actually filmed and edited. Like, oh, he really wanted to win, and he won.
That's a really good point. Honestly, the vengeance didn't do it for me. Because I don't understand. So, Masala dies, vengeance over, and then you're like, great time to end the movie, and you're like, nah, sit down, son. There's too much more to handle. And then there's like magic Jesus reign and leprosy and whatever. But everything works out for Ben-Hur. Like, he gets his vengeance, he gets his family back, it's all good. Everything's smooth sailing for the Jews forever, I assume. But and so he learns his lesson. Peace is better than fighting. Blah,
Moral
blah,
of the
blah.
movie: if you let go of hate and accept peace, you get everything you want.
Everything you want, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like he learned his lesson because he got everything he wanted. Like, how did he learn that peace was better when he just got to do whatever he wanted and everything's fine? I mean, he had to be a slave for a while, I guess. That sucked, but like, I don't see how the action of the films really taught him. And I also don't think the movie needed Jesus. I think the movie, I'm not against Jesus being in the movie. I kind of like the fun, like, oh, here's a fun cameo bit of it.
Totally.
It did not actually forward the story. Now, I think the book this is based off of, and also this is a remake. They made this film in like, I don't know, the 30s or something.
Sure.
I think it was called like Judah Ben-Hur and the Christ Child or something.
Okay.
So I think Jesus was more important in the book.
Right.
So I don't think they could cut him out. That might have had a thing to do.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
So, I don't know. That's how I feel about vengeance.
Yeah, ultimately I still like the movie just because I really cared about Masala and Ben-Hur's relationship. Even though that did end partway through the movie and you still have a lot of movie you didn't care about left to go. Yeah, I didn't care about the love story.
Sure.
But that emotional connection was still awesome to me.
I just don't. That was not. There's so many good things about this movie. None of it was enough to save it for me.
Do we have a rating scale?
We should think of one. Like 1 to 10 or. Well, wait. Should we have ratings on how good the movie is and then how much you liked it? No, just one rating. That's crazy.
Just give it a school grade.
Okay, I'm gonna give this C.
I'm gonna give it a C plus, but a good C plus.
I'm gonna give it.
It should not feel bad.
I'm gonna give it a. I guess you showed up and you did the assignment absolutely correctly, but I just don't like you, kid. That's the C.
I'm gonna give it a C plus. Like, yeah, I see what you're doing. Keep working on it. Iterate.
Yeah, which is so I guess maybe we should briefly touch on that. When I watched this, I'm like, you know what? This could benefit from a modern remake in like, it could be tighter, better acting, and it could take a lot of the epic elements from it. And I have not seen the new film, but apparently it was terrible.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing it.
Well, now I kind of do, but apparently it's terrible. So I probably won't. Because I've invested all the time I have to give to Ben-Hur, the franchise. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks for listening to Sibling Screenings, or it's called Flaherty Films. We haven't decided.
But probably not, because that is confusing.
Well, sometimes people like a confusing narrative. They don't like everything just hand-fed to them.
Not me. I like things spelled out.
Well, okay, we might be set then. Thank you for listening. See you next time.